Welcome to the Bhaktivedanta Vedic Library instructional video series. Today we're going to teach you how to make cauliflower and potato sabji, also known as aloo gobi. As always, cleanliness in Krishna's kitchen is most important. You should never smell or taste things that you're preparing for Lord Krishna. This helps in your meditation. Here's what you'll need for today's cauliflower and potato sabji. 1 quart of ghee for frying. 1 quart of water, a half head of chopped cauliflower, 3 potatoes cut into 1-inch cubes, 1 tomato diced, 1 red bell pepper diced, 2 jalapenos chopped fine, 2 bunches of cilantro chopped fine, 1/2 stick of butter, 1½ cups of sour cream. For your spices, you'll need 2 teaspoons of chili flakes, 2 teaspoons of hing, also known as asafoetida, 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds, 2 teaspoons of turmeric, 2 teaspoons of curry powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 2 teaspoons of black pepper. So we've started by heating up our ghee on a medium hot flame. Ghee will foam up if you hit it with something too fast that has water in it. So you have to be a little bit careful and be aware of that. So you can hear it bubbling up. Your potatoes are starting to fry. They should be soft and tender and almost like translucent when they're done. You can put a fork right through them, but they don't have any kind of hard surface. So we want to cook them more or less slowly, 5 to 10 minutes. You just have to watch them, have a knife handy or fork, poke it in, make sure that your potatoes are soft. There's your potatoes, they're not French fried. You take a knife, put it into the potato, cuts right through. The potato's fully cooked. So we're taking our potatoes out and we're putting them into a colander to drain off. We're gonna put them on the side. Just gonna let the ghee get hot for a minute or so. Take our cauliflower, we have about a half a head of cauliflower here. We're gonna add it to the hot ghee. So now our ghee is hot again, it's boiling up. The cauliflowers are cooking. We're gonna lower it down the flame just a little bit. We don't want it to cook too fast. These cauliflower have been in the ghee for maybe 1.5 to 2 minutes. They're already starting to cook. You want to let your cauliflower cook for about 5 to 7 minutes or till they're translucent and fully cooked. And yep, you can see it's browning a little bit around the edges, but it's mostly getting translucent, nice and soft. If you take your knife and put it into the cauliflower, the knife goes right through it. Your cauliflower is done. We're going to take the cauliflower out of the ghee, put it right in with your potatoes, let it drain off through the colander. Now that we got the cauliflower and potato deep fried, we're going to set them off to the side and start the second part of our preparation, which basically is making the sauce. So when you start your sauce, use about a half a cup of ghee. Turn your flame on. The ghee is heating up, and we're going to start by adding the fresh spices, fresh hot chilies. So we're going to saute them maybe for 2 minutes before we start adding our other spices. You can see here that the peppers are cooking, ghee's nice and hot. Peppers are sauteing, they're softening up, they're releasing all their flavors and juices. At that point, we're going to add our other spices, the dry spices. We're going to start with some cumin seeds, about 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds. After we've added the cumin seeds and they've started to get golden brown, we add 2 teaspoons of crushed chili flakes. The chili flakes and the cumin seeds are sauteing. The final spice you're adding to your chaunts is hing, or asafoetida. You're going to stir those spices in. They've only been cooking for a minute or so, the dry spices. They're getting golden brown. You don't want them to burn. Now you're going to pour in your water. We're going to let it come to a boil on a medium to high heat. Beautiful. I mean, again, cooking for Krishna, you want it to be perfect. This is coming to a boil, so we're going to do a couple other things. We're going to add a little bit of curry powder, a touch of turmeric, your salt, black pepper, a diced tomato, chopped fresh coriander. Our sauce for the wet cauliflower and potato sabji for Krishna is almost ready. So now we're just waiting for it to come to a final boil before we add the last 2 things. It's already coming to a boil around the edges. We take our cauliflower and potato, we're going to dump them directly into the sauce. It looks very soupy, but that's going to thicken up when we add our final ingredients. Right now we're going to put a lid on the pot, let it come back to another boil. Okay, the prep looks gorgeous. We're going to take the final 2 ingredients. Add that butter. Butter gives you another layer of flavor. And here comes our final ingredient. 1.5 cups of sour cream. Stir it in. Put your cap back on it. Let's let it come to a final boil. So our wet cauliflower and potato sabji for Lord Krishna has come to its final boil. We're going to look in there. We're going to run our spoon through it lightly. It looks almost like a thick soup at this point. It is, after all, wet cauliflower and potato. But these vegetables are going to soak up a lot of that liquid as it goes on, and that sour cream settles through it. It's going to thicken up. So our preparation's looking fantastic. We're going to let it set for another 15 minutes, let these vegetables soak in the juice, and in 15 minutes it'll be ready to offer to Lord Krishna. Okay, so this is looking perfect. It's a beautiful color, all the vegetables are cooked nicely, it's a creamy, thick liquid. It'll continue to thicken up as it sits and cools, but this is exactly how you want to offer it to Lord Krishna. There are no hard and fast rules for making an offering to Krishna. The idea is that you make an offering in love and devotion from your heart. Thank you for joining us here today to learn how to make wet cauliflower and potato sabji to offer to Lord Krishna. Until next time, Hare Krishna.